pass along and waste before your eyes. March with me in the borough groves, come with me in the slimy toes, and never ask us why. Come along now, run away from the humdrum. We'll go to a place that is safe from greed, anger and boredom. We'll dance and sing till sundown and feast with abandon. We'll sleep when the morning comes and we'll rise by the sound of the bird song.
Darcy, yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of when you beefed it. I miss you, of course I do. I want to see you, and it feels wrong not to dedicate this letter to that, but when I was in the woods, I saw, well, it was like nothing I've ever seen before. You're gonna think I'm full of shit, but I swear to God, I'm telling the truth. Okay, so I spent the afternoon reading at the boulder. That's normal. And everything was fine. Well, not in my book. See, Alid was doing really badly and Frances was really worried, so whatever. The crazy shit is that when I was getting all my stuff together to go back home, I saw this light flickering between the trees out of the corner of my eyes. Darcy, I shit you not, it was a blue flame dancing in the breeze, and I mean that literally. Then the wind began to cool and grow more forceful, and the light separated into 2, then 3. And I mean, obviously, I followed it. Are you kidding me? This is what I've been waiting for pretty much my whole life. When I got closer to the lights, they were floating next to these figures that were made of mist. There were 2 on horseback leading. It looked like a mystical conga line of ghosts. They bypassed the pond, turning towards the tributary stream. The procession floated onwards into the forest, seemingly with purpose, but I had no idea where. You know these woods too. It's small, surrounded on all sides by houses. There's not really anywhere for them to go or come from. And then one by one, they crossed the stream and disappeared. I ran after them. I looked down to cross, but when I looked back up again, the spirits weren't mist anymore. As I looked back from the side of the bank, I saw an approaching figure cross, and as I did, their body morphed and solidified. And if they hadn't been ghostly bodies earlier, I would have sworn they were elves from Lord of the Rings. It had been getting darker under the canopy of trees, but not that dark. The forest was completely unrecognizable, Darcy. I wasn't in our backyard anymore. I wasn't even sure I was still in our town. The last spirit that crossed was also on horseback. He was so regal as he emerged from the mist. His long hair was tied up in a way that looked both impressive and needlessly complicated. Honestly, even sitting on a horse he seemed kind of short, but that didn't take away from the amount of power radiating off him. He was utterly captivating. No one else had seemed to notice me at all. When he passed by me, we made eye contact. I think it startled both of us because he stopped to stare at me.
Oh, hello. You are not supposed to be here, are you? Well, not much to do about that now, is there? Come, you must join us for this evening of merrymaking. It'll be grand.
And then he just turned around and rejoined the line of spirits. I followed as they crested this hill? I don't know. The top was weirdly circular and flat. When they finally stopped, the trees there slowly leant away from the spirits until a perfect circle of clearing remained. The blue fires floated towards the center before falling to the ground. Upon impact, the brilliant flames burst into a silent golden bonfire. It was deeply unsettling for something so familiar to miss such a vital aspect. Whatever trance had overtaken the spirits broke. They began mingling, and the man approached me again. They weren't just willowy spirits anymore. Little sprites whizzed around the fire, and literal leprechauns, too. He said his name was Oshin. He smiled, but it was too wide, his teeth too sharp, and invited me to dance with an outstretched hand. I don't know if this was just me reaching, but he reminds me of you. Something about his presence. He led me towards a bonfire where there was a circle of empty space. As he drew my hand to rest on his shoulder, other pairs stepped out to join us. A lively band sprang to life as we began to move. He led me in complex twirls as we circled the bonfire like it were a sun with its own gravity. With just a light push to my waist or a pull with my hand, he guided me through the steps of our dance. There was something about him that felt so familiar, like I was supposed to already know his face. His grace, how quick he was on his feet, the slight smile tugging at his mouth, astounded me. I couldn't help but hound him with questions. Where are we? Who are you? What is this? But he was gracious about it, so at least I didn't commit any magical faux pas. As the flute trailed, he spun me round and round until my vision was streaked with the gold from the fire. It was like we were floating across the earth, like the ground softened as we crossed over it. Such a comforting reprieve. We slowed to a stop when the music died, but my head still spun, and when I blinked, my eyelids flashed gold. He took a step back from me. Darcy, I didn't know it was even possible to dance like that. At least, not possible for me. It was fun. Strange, yeah, but I haven't had fun like that in years. After our dance, he walked me back to the edge of the hill, and with a smile, he invited me to come back. I didn't exactly know how to get back home, but the further I got from the clearing, the louder the partygoers' voices echoed, and the harder the wind blew, until I crossed the stream. As I did, my eardrums popped, and the world settled back into place. Now it was truly dark on this side, so I could see that there were lights on in the neighbors' houses, that there even still were neighbors. My book was right there where I left it on the boulder. When I turned back, the hill was gone.